All right, guys, let's read Genesis chapter 1 in the Bible, and then we can talk about it. I'm sure there's going to be some questions, or some opinions. All right. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the heaven and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together and unto the one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And God created the great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth." And the heavenly evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind." And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. All right, look at there. So it took about 4 minutes and 38 seconds to read one chapter. When you really think about it, it doesn't take much. Just the need to seek God, and the need to find purpose. You know, I'm a father. I have 2 kids, and I have plenty of purpose with, you know, being a husband and just trying to be a good husband, trying to be a good father. But at the end of the day, to me, it just still doesn't seems like something's missing if I'm not thinking about God. And you know, when you start to seek Him, you really start to realize that you got to read this book, and that's what I've realized. Now, I'm going to go through this a little bit. Look, I'm probably not going to hit every high point. When I was getting a little choppy in the reading, it was because I started thinking of stuff as soon as, and I promise over time I'll get better at this. I pray I do. Let's see. This is one that gets me all the time. So I am a literal Bible reader. What I mean is, like, I believe pretty much everything the Bible says is literal. You know, I do realize there's a couple times in the Bible I think, you know, some things are possibly metaphorical, obviously. But when it says, and God said, everybody, I know this is a hot topic, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Look up what firmament is, and you know what that means. In the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament, and the waters from the waters that were above the firmament. Okay, and it was so. What does that mean? Look, I've been looking into that for a long time, and I catch heck from some people, and then surprisingly from some people that I've talked to, and I mean some people that I'll just say they got some clearance, right? in some places high up, you know, we would consider high up, that are literally like, no, that means exactly what you think it means. You know, if you took the Bible literal. I think one of the things is, you know, growing up in school, we get taught one thing, and for some people, that's all they know. But once you break away from that, you start just something about what they're teaching us doesn't seem right. It doesn't make sense. I know what the TV says. I know what the TV shows. You know, I get it. I totally understand that. I know what we've been taught in school, but just something about it doesn't seem right. I mean, hey, obviously 2 + 2 = 2, right? Not going to argue that. But if the Bible says that there's a firmament and it separates the waters above from the waters below, then that's got to make us question some things. All right, that'll be another topic. I'll make a video on that. Let's see. Early on the seed after this, in the evening, morning yield, and the lights of the firm. I gotta make 2 great lights. Let's see. I'm trying to find something else pretty cool in here because I saw a few things. You know, one thing I'm going to talk about here. God talks about He's giving us the herbs. Now, to my right over here, I literally have a lot of mason jars filled with raw dried herbs from all around the world. I like to self-medicate with, you know, and I don't mean any of that green stuff. I just mean like legitimate turmeric, you know, garlic, you know, cilantro, you know, maca, cloves, peppermint, spearmint. You see me, my eyes going like this because I have a lot of them. I believe that's, you know, other than prayer, that's what we should be using to healing each other. I really think prayer first. My wife being an RN, she's, you know, definitely believes in God, and the things she sees would blow your mind. You know, as far as prayer in the hospital and people's faith, and also non-prayer in the hospital and people not having faith. All right. So I do believe that herbs is definitely something. You know, because I've looked into it. You can. I don't want to misquote here, But like, look up about pharmacy and pharmacia, and I can't remember what language it's in. I'll look it up, and I'll do a video on that. But it means sorcery. The Bible says what in there? We'll get to that book, that chapter, that verse where it says do not practice sorcery. I'm sure we'll come across that, and that'll be a cool hot topic. But hey, look, I say go to Genesis. All right, KJV. All right. I don't want to hear, oh, hey, I don't read that because blah, 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 books are missing, this or that. Look, I have a bunch of books in here that are supposedly missing, right? I'm just saying, read Genesis 1. Pray on it before you read. Even if you don't believe in God, just try something different, right? And then when people say, try something different, try something different. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to throw a prayer out there. I'm going to read this verse, see what it does, okay? If you like reading books, this is one crazy interesting book. All right. I mean, the fact that there's a lot of things in history that have been found due to this book, and that there are things that are coming true that this book's ever going to come true, and that this book was written by eyewitness accounts and word of mouth, generation after generation. I mean, especially New Testament eyewitness accounts 20, 30 years after the death of Christ. I say just read it. I think you're too smart not to read it. That's what I think. But anyways, I would love to hear you guys' questions, or if any of you guys got something to point out, anything you want to add in here, awesome, okay? I do ask that your comments be respectful. Anytime I've ever commented on somebody's YouTube video, I don't think I've ever blatantly been a jerk just because I care about people. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Obviously, sometimes I'm like, I might think something. I'm not telling you not to say it. I'm just saying keep it respectful, okay? It'd be cool, if people would just get in here and throw your views. What do you think the firmament means? That kind of thing. Or, is there anything else in there? Yeah. You notice when God said he made these things, he saw that they were good. When I read this, God taking the time to make all this and then making us, tells me he loves me. All right. Hey, guys, hope you have a blessed night. If you want to, share this video with somebody. If it helps somebody hearing somebody else read it, awesome. God bless, guys.